Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin has pushed a little higher, hasn't given us too many signals that this correction is over, but as I already mentioned to you last week, with this move down, the correction could be over, so I'm tracking upside until support breaks, while being aware that at this stage we could still easily get another low. That's also what many altcoins are telling us. Situation is not very clear yet. However, we can track upside. We have defined parameters, we have support levels defined, and also upside resistances and the next upside targets. As you might remember from last week, if you watch my videos regularly, I highlighted to you on Friday, I think it was, that this correction here actually looks quite good. That was the first time in this correction that I said that actually I like the bottoming structure, which means that from here we could see a move to the upside in a fifth wave into the direction of $90,000 plus. That would be the next move up in what I would call a wave 5 of this Elliott Wave cycle. Is this the last wave up? Is this the end of the bull market? No, I don't think so. The next move up should be just wave 5, circle 5 of a larger degree third wave. So there is still more room to go. But after this third wave, we might see another wave 4 correction that could take several months. I mean, already this one took several months, and this one will be a larger wave degree, okay? I mean, okay, this one didn't take several months, but 1.5. This one could take longer, the wave 4 that happens after this larger degree third wave. Bear in mind, this would be one wave degree higher. So the entire move that started, let me just figure that out, down here in September last year, this entire move will likely have to get corrected by this fourth wave. This year, what we've seen so far was only a correction of this third wave that started in November. So it's a smaller wave degree. But the next upside target is calculated, and I've been quite clear about this. So the way to calculate that is, one way is taking the length of wave 1 and we go to the low of the wave 4. So at the moment I can only go to the low of the Friday low basically. And that was around 60K. And we take the 100% extension level. That means the wave 5 often has the same length as the wave 1. So 1 and 5. Around about 91K, I think I didn't really pick the low there, but it's around about 90K. And this is sort of how you measure a target. There are other ways of measuring, quite a few point actually to 90K. So we'll see how that goes. Can I promise you that the correction is over? No, there is still a potential of one more low. Funny enough, we talked about that yesterday in the member live stream. Talked about complex corrections and how we need to approach this once a correction is over, or we think a correction is over. So as soon as I can count a correction complete, which I can here, okay, which in the yellow count is an ABC structure, I can start to track upside, okay? Especially if I see the first resistances break, that's what we do. But it still is wise to have another bearish alternative on the chart, not to be surprised, okay? Because, well, you know, it doesn't matter how confident you are about a certain move, and I'm not very confident about this yet, but I'm tracking it. Okay, and I made use of the analysis. I bought down here BTC. Yeah, members know that. I published that on Patreon, not on Patreon, on Discord and Telegram. However, I also have to say, don't copy me, because I will have a different strategy than you probably. Much more relaxed way of trading than many of you. Nevertheless, I make use of the analysis. That's what these boxes are for, okay? So it's always about, not so much about the question, okay, is it going up or down? It's more about the question, what's my main thesis, which is still bullish. We had a pullback in a bull market, which is a buy opportunity, especially as long as support is holding, which is 50.7K. All I need to know is where is that support level. I calculate my position size. I gradually scale in. And when the market rallies, and maybe rallies into resistance, it can make sense to take some partial profits, because the white scenario tells us we might still come back into the support region. But I don't want to take too many profits, because the yellow scenario tells me what we might already be in the next, let's say, advance to 90K. And that's also why it's so important to hold a core position. It's an entire strategy that's sort of geared towards this analysis. So in terms of core position, which I built, for example, in the bull market and the bear market, this is still what I haven't really touched, okay? I have sold the positions I bought after October, right? But I bought back BTC in this correction, and I'm holding my core, okay? So I don't want to sell my core position until we get close to my bull market targets for Bitcoin. We're not there yet. So that's a whole strategy. I think the worst someone can do is sort of do everything correctly, right? And building a core position in the bear market, and then being overly greedy and losing money in these corrections, and basically eliminating all the profits they've had from their core position. I mean, that's the worst, okay? So for me, it's more like holding that core position, which I was very clear about in the bear market, to build that, and then trading in a soft way around it in these corrections, and then as we move away from support. I think that's the best way for most people. But again, that's personal, okay? So there are people who trade intraday, there are people who have a lot of time, who just trade, intraday movements. And if that works for you, great. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just saying what I think is the best way to trade for most people, because most people will not do well trading within these corrections. So it also takes a lot of time. But yeah, that's basically the idea behind this. Okay, we're still tracking the white count, which absolutely, I mean, there could be a B wave rally here, absolutely. And we could still see a C wave down. So strategically, that's quite clear. The analysis is not so much predictive, okay, in that sense, but it tells us that it's very clear strategically. It's all a strategy you need to think about. If we get another dip in the C wave, it could be a buy opportunity, okay? Because but only as long as support is holding. And if we rally into resistance, it might be a profit-taking opportunity, but not too many profits, because we're probably still expecting a move up to 90K. So that's sort of how this needs to be understood. Looking at the microstructure, we're looking for evidence that the overall correction is indeed completed. Bit tricky. It was possible that yesterday's rally there, so that new high formed a 5-wave move. So it's possible that we already had a 1-2 setup. This wave 2 would be too shallow to be reliable. Don't trust it, but I have marked it as an alternative that a wave 2 finished here. We could also say maybe the wave 2 finished here. That's just sort of not so important. At the moment, I'm still primarily tracking this as a 5-wave move up. It doesn't look right, really, but as long as we're holding below 67,852, I can say that this is an extended 5th wave in a wave 1, in a still unfolding wave 1. As I said before, we need those 5 waves completed, followed by a 3-wave pullback, which holds a higher low, finds support in this support region, and then basically takes off for me to confidently state that the correction is likely over. Well, we had a potential 5-wave move up, but as I said, it was very anemic, very lackluster, that last wave. So it's good that we get an extension, but I can't really then say that we've already bottomed, okay? Also because if I can consider this might be wave 1 here, then this pullback was just so shallow, okay? So yeah, it's not really giving me, it's not very clear. Could also say that maybe the 4th wave was here as a running flat. There are many options. That's the problem here. That's the problem. So we'll see. At the moment, I have lifted the key level to 61,000. So that's key support. As long as that's holding, the focus could still be on higher. And we need to be watching these two levels as pivots. So 66,791, that's the next Fibonacci resistance as well as structural resistance. And then 67,852 is also the next resistance level structurally and Fibonacci-wise. Only above that, I have to assume that we're probably already in the 3rd wave, because then it's getting too long for an extended 5th. That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.